Y boom, boom, estamos grabando FENcast, grabando hoy con un artista que originalmente cuando descubrí su trabajo pensé que era simplemente un rapper, pero cuando uno se va en el rabbit hole, pues descubre que también pues le mete a otro aspecto, sea singing, sea production, sea mastering, mixing, todas esas vueltitas. Y a diferencia de muchos otros beatmakers y producers, también toca instrumentos. Hoy estamos con Doctor Marmal8. ¿Cómo está, mano?
Oh, good. Oh, good. Had a real interesting day today.
Okay. Why was that? What's that?
Este, hice, estaba bregando una canción que va a ser un sencillo que no tiene nada que ver con el álbum que estoy bregando.
Mm,
Y después los panitas con quienes yo vivo,
mm,
se fueron a hacer una diligencia. Y yo, a diablo, debo grabar la otra, debo grabar la otra. Y la otra canción que es para el álbum es una donde yo estoy gritando tan,
mm,
tan fuerte
mm.
que es mejor hacerlo cuando no hay nadie para no molestar a nadie, solamente los vecinos. Yo estoy bien con molestar a los vecinos, eso no me importa.
La gritadera, algo tipo
Sí.
hardcore punk rock, metal, ¿qué tipo de gritadera se puede esperar?
Algo así, algo relacionado a eso, me estoy bregando ahora. Bueno,
Ok,
bregué antes de la llamada.
interesting, interesting. Eh, de hecho, eso es algo que me llama mucho la atención de tu trabajo, mano, pero antes de irnos más de lleno con los sounds que no tienen miedo a explorar todas esas cositas, para que la gente sepa cómo pueden buscarte en las redes sociales y ya, básicamente eso.
Este, Ahora mismo solamente estoy en Insta
Mm,
y, y los streaming services, como Doctor Marmalade.
perfecto. ¿Eso también incluye Bandcamp, right? ¿O no tiene Bandcamp?
Sí tengo Bandcamp. En Bandcamp es Marmalade, o sea, Marmal 8.bandcamp.com. Ahí está toda mi catálogo entero de música, libre de costo.
Bello, 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 bello. Y de hecho, para la gente que esté viendo esto o escuchándolo, le imploro, eh, vayan para Bandcamp específicamente los viernes si pueden, porque esos días le llega más dinero al artista. So, support your artists. Además de, yendo a shows y Spotify y esas cositas. Eh, ok, man, so, lo que estábamos hablando era la cuestión esta de explorar sonidos variados en tu trabajo.
Ujú.
So, algo que me encanta es que no te quedas con un sonido exacto. Like you're not afraid to go out of the box. Eh, Como dije al principio, simplemente pensaba que era rapero cuando conseguí tu trabajo inicialmente, pero después vi que no solamente hacía boom bap, sino que también le metía al trap de vez en cuando, le metí a este, hasta música tipo cantautor, por ponerlo así. Y la gente que se pasa explorando tu trabajo, sea simplemente escuchando snippets en Instagram o escuchando la música de por sí en los streaming services, pues también se va a dar cuenta que también exploras sonidos tipo eh, electronic music. So, te pregunto primero que todo,
Ujú.
eh, when you were younger, ¿cuál fue el tipo de música al cual tú you would gravitate to? Y cuando te convertiste en músico como tal, ¿cuál es el tipo de música que tú te diste cuenta como que, oh shit, this is the one?
Este, um, as far as like what I first gravitated towards when I was little, uh, my dad used to tell me this little funny story when I was like single digit age. I was barely putting words together.
Mm,
I was just running around being a tiny little autistic child, and my dad would stop me and want me to listen to some music. So this is the first time and anyone's ever put headphones on my tiny little head, and if I remember correctly, what he put these like tiny thin wireframe headphones that feel like they could shatter if you look at them wrong. He put them over my head, and I believe the first thing he played was something from Willy Colon.
mm.
And like my little kid mind was blown by the idea that there is music in my head and that like no one else can hear it. And I'm just staring at my dad, like reacting to my face, and my face is just like, what? You know, my tiny little baby face. made a face of amazement I've never made before or since,
Mm,
you know, and like so cuando I don't know about gravitating towards, but like the first stuff I was exposed to, because it's my dad,
mm,
it was salsa, like 70 salsa, like jam session salsa, like those kinds of records where they're kind of like really long and almost
mm,
all of them have like a fade out point because there's no real part where it ends. The engineer just has to decide where that's going to be by pushing the fader down, that kind of stuff. And also because it's my dad, Van Halen, uh Journey, Boston, a little bit of Boston. There's really only a couple records from Boston, but my dad is the kind of guy who will really listen to like the singles, the classics, the greats, and then just kind of skip the rest of the album.
mm,
And when once he got a computer and he could start burning CDs of mixtapes, like his life changed forever. He stopped listening to the records he bought. He just
mm.
started ripping and then playlisting and then doing that in the car forever. Which I think in retrospect, it sells a lot of that art short,
Mm.
because if you're just cutting it down to the singles, the stuff was really successful, you're missing out on like a world of stuff that made the artists themselves happy that they made it, not just the hits that they're probably sick to death of singing live and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Concuerdo contigo full en esa parte. Por eso a mí me encanta. Digo, yo sé que pues, hoy día más que nunca quizás está más activo el hecho de simplemente pues, explorar los singles y ya.
Yeah,
Pero I have hope de que se vuelva a volver a lo que se hacía antes, ¿no? Lo que sería explorar el álbum from top to bottom, you know. Porque
sí,
pues en aquel entonces, por lo menos al principio, you could have skipped it back in the day cuando eran records con CD, obviamente se hizo mucho más fácil.
yeah.
Pero I don't know, hoy día están los dos mundos, like, do you prefer um listening to the entire album? Do you prefer listening to some of the songs? Como que es tan accesible escoger cualquiera de los dos que a veces pienso que simplemente pues la gente se queda con los singles, pero I don't know. Maybe that's just the music nerd in me, como que perdiendo esperanza en ese sentido. Em, te quería...
uh yeah, it's a little bit, it feels like a doom and gloom sort of topic,
Ujú,
but no, I do love listening to entire projects front to back. uh My favorite project I listened to in the entirety of last year, I don't think it's even one that came out last year. It's just one that just sort of marked me last year.
mm.
It's Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips.
Ooh, beautiful record.
That
Beautiful
that
record.
record. Oh my god. It's Schoolboy Q being given the time and the budget to make something genuinely fucking weird in his space. And I think it's a gorgeous record. I think like to this day, I still go back to this entire record and I listen to almost all of it front to back. There are some skips, but not because they're bad, but because it's the kind of song that it's like the least inventive one of the bunch, or like the least inventive three in an album that's like almost 20 fucking fantastic pieces. And like when I go like front to back on a record, I tend not to skip in
Mm,
general, right? Because like it's part of the vision. I really love and respect the idea of an artist making a giant body of work like that that's meant to be consumed that way. And if you don't consume it that way, you're kind of doing the project, you're doing the art a disservice.
mhm, mhm,
You're taking it out of its original context. And Blue Lips really feels like a thing meant to be listened to front to back, not a conjunction of singles that a label had you assemble because if you didn't put anything out this year, you were not going to make money.
mhm,
It doesn't, nothing about Blue Lips feels like it was done out of obligation. It was done because somebody in the booth was like, wait a minute. Let me, hold on. What if? And then they just kind of ran with it. This the track Ohio is fucking ridiculous. It is 3 tracks married together. The last one has Freddie Gibbs, and it is fucking fantastic. Like each of the 3 that make up that one track called Ohio are fan fucking tastic.
De acuerdo
There's
contigo, full, man.
so much inventive shit going on in Blue Lips.
En verdad que sí. Y tristemente, eh, quiero decir que por lo menos en el mainstream, como que it wasn't as appreciated as one would think. Eh,
Yeah. It was
pero
mentioned in the Grammys, I think, a few times, right? It was nominated for something.
no me acuerdo. Pero, qué sé yo, si
Don't
lo
quote me
comparo.
though. I don't actually watch the Grammys. I don't care what they think.
Pero, por ejemplo, lo comparo con cosas como, I don't know, como le pasó a Tyler ese año, que fue como que the biggest record out there, por ponerlo así.
Yeah.
Pues, por ejemplo,
Oh,
Blueberries
well, no.
comparado con eso, pues no, o sea, no tuvo el mainstream appeal, yo diría,
Yeah.
que hubiese merecido. That's it, hermano. Volviendo un momento al tema después de los sencillos.
Yeah.
Yo sé que por ahora pues no tienes un full-length project, por ponerlo así, pero has sacado varios
Yeah.
sencillos y has sacado LP Late October.
Yeah.
Em, Antes de empezar a grabar, me dijiste que estabas trabajando un par de cositas. So,
Yeah.
por ahora, do you feel comfortable enough to release a full-blown project? ¿O tú estás como que thinking about it, cómo se te vuelve la vuelta en cuestión a eso?
Well, I am working on a full blown project, but that's the thing about me. I am always working on a full blown project, and
Mm,
way down the line, I always end up scaling it down to something I'm more comfortable releasing than a full length project. I think this is me being like, I don't want to predict my own future, but what I'm thinking right now is the album that I'm working on, which is that I'm saying this on social media already, is about the only thing I'm ready to like announce about it, is it's called Leave Me the Fuck Alone.
mm,
It's a it was meant to be an album full of just a bunch of shit that happened to me on January. It's me doing something I don't really do, and that's why it's interesting to do it, and that's air out my dirty laundry
mm,
as much as I can without actually divulging private information.
mm,
I
mm,
actually do care about that a lot. Uh, I love the people that this album is about, you know. But this album, I'm thinking of scaling it down again because it is. I definitely set out to make a full length record. It's definitely that way every goddamn time, but it never turns out that way. Late October, it was almost 6 tracks instead of 5. The 6 track, I just I liked it. I just didn't think it worked as like the little story I was telling in late October.
mm,
It didn't work to just kind of squeeze it in there. Everything was just fine the way it was. I'm like late October is like the thing I'm most happy with that I think I've ever made, even though that's mostly because as far as like a body of work that you're meant to listen to it front to back, it's the only one I've actually followed through and released in a
mm,
way that I'm super happy with. I'm trying to make Leave Me the Fuck Alone that next thing, but I'm not confident in saying that it's going to be a straight up full length album. It might just not. It might be a second EP, but whatever it is I'm doing after, I know that I got a fire lit under my ass about it. I need to make a full length record, man. I gotta stop sleeping on that idea.
Ok, ok. Te pregunto, por lo que escucho, you're a very critical person of yourself. Um,
Yeah, sure.
so, te pregunto, ese part of the process, do you also talk about it with other musician friends or other friends in general? ¿O te lo reservas y te quedas tú mismo criticándote en el proceso?
I do not seek feedback from others anymore
Mm,
because, well, I used to when I didn't know what I wanted out of the music that I make. That isn't true of the music I make anymore, and as such, the music I have out in my catalog right now, that's just stuff I've uploaded, not anyone else, not any collab or whatever. Uh, Stuff I've put out into the world personally, the stuff that's available right now, it's all stuff that I am happy with and that
mm,
I knew what I wanted, and I started and finished a core idea in a way that made me obsessed with the track, and like before anyone else heard it in the world, I was listening to it obsessively on repeat over and over again. because I just loved it that much. That is a prerequisite of the music that I put out. It's just a thing I told myself I was going to do forever. During and since late October, that's like the big change for my work is I have to be obsessive. I have to be the biggest fan of the thing before anyone else gets to be the biggest fan of the thing for real.
Gacho, gacho, gacho. Eh, Esto se siente como con un weird pivot, pero lo tengo en la mente, so I just gotta do it.
All right,
Empezamos
good.
hablando sobre eso first, como que musical introductions, con cosas como Willy Colón, etcétera.
Yeah.
So, what are some other musicians que tú dirías que son importantes para ti como eh, the musician you are today? Be it músicos de tu juventud, músicos más recientes. Mencionaste que pues que Schoolboy, ese record te fascina. Sé que hiciste o estaba en uno de tus posts de Instagram.
Yeah.
eh, Posteaste que estaba covering Tyler, the Creator. Pero ¿cuáles son algunos artistas que, son importantes para ti? Por ponerlo así.
Okay, so you wanted me to talk about like the ones that are important to my development as a musician.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are interesting. Those are I have a wide palette of that stuff. I was raised a drummer, but also kind of a gamer.
Mm,
So as far as like stuff that influenced me, I've been influenced from everything from like 70s salsa. I have favorites. I pick favorites of in terms of like writers and composers. Willie Colon is up there. Ruben Blades is up there. To some extent, Richie Ray y Bobby Cruz también.
mm,
Those are there's they're like they made music that even at the time of its release, as far as like the larger context of salsa as a whole, what they were making was considered pretty weird.
mm,
And like hearing this entire era of music and all their contemporaries back to back together, it really does stick out. Richie Ray Bobby Cruz is like a really different vibe. But everything from that space to you already know, like hair metal. Uh, dude, Rush.
mm.
Sorry for saying hair metal and Rush so close together. That's probably pissing somebody off, but I don't mean to make that correlation. It's just I'm thinking off the top of my head, what was my dad obsessed with that he would not stop playing around me,
Mm,
and and it's that it's Journey, it's Boston, it's Van Halen, it's Rush, it's Willie Colon, it's a lot of things. But that now to the music that influenced me, that all of that influenced me. Let me be clear. All of that changed how I think about music. Other stuff I was listening to that changed how I thought about music. Let's talk about my mom's side of things.
mm,
Whitney fucking Houston. Whitney Houston is still in my brain every time I think of what to do singing wise on a
mm,
song that would probably be interesting. Whitney Houston keeps creeping back into my fucking brain and telling me to like leave a tiny little reference to that one song where she goes close the door behind you, leave your keys, rather be alone than unhappy. Like she does this whole like just treading the entire scale in like a second because fuck you, I'm amazing, and that's what you get to hear now. Stuff like that. But also, my mom is a very like devoted Christian woman,
mm.
so there's also some Christian stuff in there. Contemporary Christian music makes me want to jump off a bridge, but 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 there's some good shit. There's some good shit. I promise. There's some good shit. I'll just tell you one. The one that I think is just like Christian music that changed how I think about music and how to write it and what you can even get away with doing.
Mm.
Crystal Lewis. There's
Okay.
this lady called Crystal Lewis. The song that will never leave my brain until I hit the goddamn grave is called Satisfied. That song is uh if you hear that song, you'll probably pick up on a tiny little ism about how chords are put together that I still like channel, almost
Mm.
subconsciously to this very day. It like it I'm trying to think of the one with the single satisfied. I don't know. I don't remember the name of that album, but that album is also fucking excellent. I'm
Mm.
sorry for cursing when trying to praise a Christian record, but that's just me.
Sometimes you gotta do it. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Sometimes I gotta do it. I'm like, fuck, this worship album is amazing. It's that like Krista Lewis is actually fucking goated to me. She's like one of the all time greats of that entire decade of Christian music. Oh man, that's that. Yeah, I'm as far as like my mom's concerned, that there's that. Now there's the aside from my parents and the music that they insisted on putting in my life, then there's the shit that just kind of incidental from being a gamer.
Mm.
The the music, the game whose music changed my fucking brain chemistry the most ever to in terms of like not just like what I like, but also what I like to do for music I write.
Mm.
Fucking Ape Escape for the PlayStation 1.
Interesting.
It's a game where you run around catching monkeys. Some of them
Mm.
have guns,
Mm.
and this the music of this record is drum and bass, but like mid to late 90s drum and bass, and it's drum and bass that in the context of larger drum and bass in the 90s sounds really fucking weird and out there.
Mm.
And it's by this guy who I consider my music dad. Like my creative head has
Mm.
a father, and it's Soichi Terada. That's the name of the composer for that entire game. And that guy did not compose the second Ape Escape, but he came back to compose the third. And you can really fucking tell, man.
Mm.
I'm not a huge fan of Ape Escape 2's music, but three hit the ground running. Like with the first few levels, it's actually fucking amazing, and it makes my brain happy to hear Soichi Terada's specific style of super weird drum and bass with really light and easygoing drums that usually don't go with the general vibe of what drum and bass was known to be.
Mm.
It's it's fantastic. Also, a few honorable mentions: a shit ton of Mega Man games.
I was
We got
gonna ask.
Mega Man Legends. Mega Man X4 is like synth rock, and synth rock kind of it's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's a happy medium between the bullshit I incidentally walked into from being a gamer and the stuff my dad likes.
Mm.
And this weird in between of stuff, Mega Man X4 has some of the most memorable Mega Man tunes I think ever. And but yeah, Mega Man 8 has a few funky little bangers in it too.
Mm.
Uh, Astro Man from Mega Man 8, the Astro Man level music has a bass line that changed me forever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a all of these things that like all these things change the way that I think about music and putting it together, and also just like change what it is I enjoy, what it is I look for in when I'm looking for interesting new things to do. Hey, you hear that? That's a
Yeah.
yeah.
Pero se
Okay,
piche eso, se piche
he
eso.
handled it. It's all good.
Yeah. Bueno, me encanta. A wide variety there. Me ayuda a mí a pensar mucho entre esos videojuegos que también a mí me transformaron de alguna manera u otra. Mencionaste Mega Man. Mega Man es uno de los GOATs.
Yeah.
Eh, Pensé que por un momento iba a decir algunos que yo también como que aprecio mucho en cuestión a video games. Porque pues,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, The Original Soundtrack, para mí es otra cosa. Street Fighter
Yeah.
Games también. So,
Yeah.
yeah, una cantidad de videojuegos que sumamente transformaron a mí también. Much like happened to you. Em,
No.
También diría Marvel vs. Capcom 2, obviamente. Sin
Oh my
eso.
god.
Y Street Fighter Alpha Games también. Em,
Dude,
so, yeah,
Capcom versus SNK. Like
también.
I had the shitty PS1 port of that game, and the music was basically intact.
Mhm.
So like it was still amazing, and like that music is still just really fucking cool.
Ujú, ujú.
On some of the coolest stuff on that you could find in fighting games in general is Capcom versus SNK's music.
¿Verdad que sí? ¿Verdad que sí? Lo que tenía Capcom y SNK en su música para los 90s y los early 2000s, específicamente los fighting games, it was just, era otra cosa, era otra
Yeah.
cosa. Eh, that's it, mano. Este, te quería preguntar, te iba a preguntar esto como quiera, pero ya que estamos en el tema de video games, ¿sería a dream of yours or a goal to make music for a video game?
For sure. But the reason that's like a dream to me is because that is a shit ton of music to make.
Mm,
That is not an album. That is not a full length project. That is not even the kind of project that your label makes you put out that has 20 something tracks because God forbid we don't have a thing out this year. Uh it's not even that. You like Ape Escape soundtrack is fucking 40 tracks.
mm,
And I don't even like the idea of making that much music for a singular thing, for a single experience where you sit down and you spend maybe like if you don't take any breaks, I don't know, fucking 9 hours
mhm, mhm,
consuming this video game and like throughout it, stuff I made is constantly in your ear. That is why it's a dream. It's because I've never done that for any one thing before. Made a ridiculous amount of music that picks from all these like a few motifs that I created to signal into themes about the game.
mhm.
I've never actually done that for anything before. So as long as it's something that I haven't done, it is the most exciting thing on the planet to me.
Okay, okay.
And so yes, video games, like I definitely want to do one or two. I think that
Super,
that would be fantastic for me.
super, super. If you had to pick right now, like either an existing franchise or a genre of video game, which one do you think you would pick?
Hmm. Damn. Okay. Okay. I I feel pretty confident about scoring a platformer by myself.
Mhm,
I feel like I would need to fetch some of my friends to put together something for like a first person shooter. But I feel pretty confident in my ability to put something together to put like a lot of things together for an RPG. Uh but like platform is like a thing that like if you would ask me right now, what would I rather score? Fucking platformer. Like right now. I would get started on that right now if I had the opportunity.
super, super. Is there a specific type of platformer you would explore?
Uh 3D one, the kind that has bullshit hidden in the mechanics to
Mm,
to in a subtle way make you go faster and faster and like you kind of stack momentum as you go. Like Mario 64 had stuff in there
mm,
like that, but it never felt like they put it in there on purpose. It just sort of felt like, oh, that's just kind of the nature of how they coded it, made it so that if you made these inputs, you make Mario move in a way that doesn't look right, but it
mm.
feels amazing. But since then, people have made games where that's like the point, and
Yeah.
even Nintendo has made Mario games where that's like the point.
Mm,
Uh, Mario Odyssey is a game that where they put shit in there so that you can figure it out and like create a bunch of momentum and clear a ridiculously long jump that it never seemed like you even could. But they put it in there for that purpose and they hid shit in the game for when you learn how to do it and you actually manage a ridiculous jump like that. And that's sick as fuck. I want to score a game with shit like that in it.
gotcha, 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 gotcha. Eh, también te pregunto, mano. Eh, Realmente right now, pues, we're just talking shit y, hablando toda la vuelta.
Yeah.
Este, pero adjunto a videojuegos, pues también I gotta bring up movies. Is that something you
Yeah.
would like to explore también?
Movies. What's a movie with music that? Oh yeah, Prince of Egypt, dude. DreamWorks, The Prince of Egypt.
Mhm,
The opening track for that movie is a bunch of tracks. with like motifs that you will hear again in that track throughout the movie. And it is bombastic, it is gorgeous, and it has shit from the Bible in it
Mm,
because it's a movie about the book of Exodus. And say what you will about that entire subject matter. That movie is fucking wonderful. The score of that movie is on my all-time greats. And lucky for them because like I don't be I don't be like indexing my top movie scores like that. Uh Star Wars is in there, I guess, as far
mm,
as like really, really crazy movie scores. E.T. is in there too. What else? What else? Movies that well, Prince of Egypt is one of those where it's just like, okay, I think about chords differently now. I think about singing differently now because of this movie. That's
mm.
Prince of Egypt for me.
Gotcha.
The chord, using dissonance to help portray a feeling. Star Wars taught me that. Star Wars is score by John Williams taught me
Mm,
that. Uh, there's some cool like the like when I was growing up, they were making these animated straight to VHS movies for
mm.
like Batman. There was this Batman Sub Zero.
Yeah.
That is a movie I remember nothing about except the phrase, except Mr. Freeze breaking into a building and causing a lot of property damage and screaming, "Where's Barbara Gordon?"
Mm.
And some of the music from it was really cool too.
¿Verdad que
But
sí?
other than that, I don't remember anything about that movie, and that's how music affects me. Like I didn't remember the thing, but I remember little things from it, tiny little pieces of the music that just kind of ring a bell like crazy. And it's those things that make me really happy. What's another one, dude? Monsters Inc. has a ridiculously good soundtrack,
Indeed.
ridiculously good jazz soundtrack. It's actually absurd how fucking delightful that music is just across the board. Even the stuff that's just meant to score a scene where a thing is happening and you got to be like tense and oh my god, are they gonna make it or whatever. No, all that stuff is like really thoughtfully put together too. Uh, Toy Story is up there too, I believe.
Mm,
And I'm like the best cuts from Toy Story are the ones that nobody knows, the ones that just kind of happen mid scene. You know, those are all fantastic. And the fact that we even have those just isolated, you can just listen to them without the screenplay that's supposed to accompany them, and it
mm.
still kind of holds up. That's magical, man. That shit is fucking magical. Monsters Inc. is that times a million for me. Like every bit of that soundtrack holds up as just a thing to listen to without the movie. And a lot of movie soundtracks are great, but you wouldn't be caught listening to them by themselves. Monsters Inc. is not that. It's just banger city.
Mm. A mí me pasa mucho eso. Menciona Monsters Inc., pero me pasa mucho también con The Original Incredibles y con Soul,
Oh my god.
la que salió para la pandemia. Like, el score de su music, de esa película, ridiculous.
Yeah, Ratatouille.
También.
Honorable mention because I I still I still find myself humming the main one to that one.
Mm. En verdad que Pixar tiene esa magia de hacer just beauty de ciertas cosas. En verdad que sí. Y de hecho, se nos está acabando el tiempo de esta session, so voy a tener que cerrar ya mismo.
Mm,
Pero eso es algo de lo bello de esas películas clásicas así de Pixar, que every little detail is refined, por ponerlo así.
yeah.
So, yeah. Este, okay, so nos queda poco tiempo en esta session.
Okay.
I'm gonna close it, I'm gonna download the vid y te envío otro enlace ya mismo, ¿ok?
Okay.
Y boom, boom, estamos de vuelta con Doctor Marmal8. Bueno, estábamos hablando mucho sobre pues, la variedad de influencias que has tenido en tu trabajo. So, te quería preguntar, adjuntando a esto el hecho de que mencionaste de que te gustaría añadir al proyecto que estás trabajando variados sonidos. So,
Sí.
te pregunto, eh, ¿cuán variado se podría ver ese proyecto que estás trabajando? Por ejemplo, ¿hay alguna raíz que tú dirías como que, ok, this is the root of the entire project? Y de aquí pues expando a diferentes sonidos. So, yeah, how varied would the project be? ¿Y cuál sería quizás la raíz que lleva al listener a explorar o a escuchar esos diferentes sonidos?
Mm, Mi álbum, que tal vez va a terminar no siendo álbum, terminará tal vez siendo otro EP más. Eh, lo que pasa conmigo es que cuando yo estoy bregando música, I'm kind of figuring that out as I go.
Mm,
And I don't go, I usually don't go out of my way to be like, okay, this one's gonna be un perreo marquesina.
mm,
I usually don't, but like when it is something like what I just said, it usually doesn't stray because
mm,
like I always start with a different part of it that moves me to start making. Sometimes it's the words, sometimes it's a chord progression I thought about, sometimes it's a drum groove, sometimes it's a sound effect in the background that I just think like in a vacuum. This would probably be funny if I put it in something, and like it kind of grows from there into whatever the fuck it's gonna be.
mm,
And usually, uh, it's not that it's not that I'm constantly looking to get out of my comfort zone. Is that my comfort zone is dicking around and finding shit out.
mm,
And the like usually the end result is something that at the end of the day I just really like listening to it on repeat. And that's what it is with everything, man. When this album is gonna be uh on top of not being an album, it's going to be it's gonna have hip hop in it.
mm,
It's gonna like, and I'm only saying that because as it stands, it already has it in there.
mm,
Not because I know that I'm gonna do that later. It's just if I'm just taking into account what I already made for it. There's something that isn't exactly metal, but it's kind of in the ballpark of it.
mm,
There's hip hop, there's a lot of things, and this is why because I don't think about the genre of it too hard. In fact, that's like the most infuriating part about publishing music by yourself is you have to give it what you have to give it the box.
mm.
You have to tell it what the box it's supposed to be in is, and as the guy who makes it, that frustrates me. But uh, it's this project is going to be a lot of things. And one thing it's not gonna be, it's boring to me. I'm going to really like listening to the project front to back by the time I'm done with it. And I call everything I do now Latin pop,
Mm,
and just kind of do whatever I want from there and just label it Latin pop because I really don't care. Pop is also just kind of, I don't think it means anything anymore.
mm.
It's just like, popular music. It's the music people like. That's most music ever. And I choose Latin pop because sometimes I speak Spanish. Ooh, that's fucking great. So new and innovative. I know a whole other language, but Spanish is my first. The English is the other language to
Mhm,
me. It's the
mhm.
one where I learned how to write stuff I like the most first, and then I would go back and polish my own Spanish just for the sake of writing more music,
Mhm,
writing newer, different music. And that was a really interesting experience to like get back into the roots of your own fucking first language,
mhm.
just so that you can be better about writing in general. And then you retroactively made your speech better a little bit.
Yeah,
That's But like, yeah, like the see, that's the thing. That's why I'm constantly like, you ask me a very direct question about genres, and I care so little for the process of like, I'm gonna do some rock today. I don't think about it that way. I
Mm,
I I start with a different tiny thing, a little detailerism from a thing I'm thinking about, and it just kind of spirals from there into a whole thing. And every single track I've worked on in the past 3 or 4 years that's for me to put out has been like that. It just kind of grows from any tiny little thing where you don't think it would be the what it is. When I in late October, my favorite song of that record is Julieta.
mm,
Uh, the first version of Julieta did not have any chords. It's just that big gritty bass line and those weird out there splashy drums. And like that was the beat. That was what I had Heapy write to.
mm,
That was what I wrote to. And then I figured out what the hook was gonna be later. And like as I was recording it before putting the chords down, because I just knew what key was gonna be before I laid the chords down. So again, the process is really different every time. I remember Hippie being in the other side of the recording booth, which by the way is just a closet. It's just it's just a closet with a bunch of foam in it. That's where we recorded that one.
mm,
Everything else I've recorded in wherever I live, and usually it's like a mic and a couch and a laptop and a
mm.
dream. And I remember I was recording that, and Hippie said, "Bro, it sounds like you're singing some shit from the Wiggles." Because without the chords, it just sounds like a really a weird patronizing uh major just a major scale thing meant for not adults.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like fruit salad from the Wiggles if you don't have any chords behind it. Then I
Mhm,
put the chords behind it later, and Hippie was just like, "This motherfucker, you couldn't do that part first."
mhm.
And like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, no, I couldn't. It's just not
Parte
how it
de.
works. Yeah, it's stuff like that. That's how I make music. It's always some weird part of it that doesn't that is not indicative usually to what the final thing is going to sound like. It doesn't actually encompass the entire vibe. It's just a little thing about it in there, and then it just becomes a whole thing later. And it's always like that, and it's always fucking awesome. I always end up loving everything that comes out of my head when it's like that. If I just let the ADHD and the autism or whatever just go nuts. Just let it do what it does.
Yeah, yeah. So, entonces si fuésemos a hablar de los proyectos or or EP or what have you,
Yeah.
would you say that dirías que cada uno primero nace de alguna idea, algún concepto or what have you, an emotion perhaps, an experience, y la música pues just lo que salga salga y eventually pues, it would all come together.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. In late October, the song Apagalo, the very first track, I made that one last, and I made it the night before the entire project came out.
mm,
And it was first a feeling that I felt when I heard El Cantante playing on the radio of my brother's neighbor while I was at his house helping him wash a car.
mm,
And he just saw me look into the horizon where the music was coming from, and like pull out my phone and start writing something down. He asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm just putting a thing down. I'm gonna make something later. And like that evening, I wrote the bones of that, showed it to my friend. My friend was like, please let me be on it. And I
mm,
said, no, this is no, that's exactly why I showed you, is because like what I wrote, I think you can relate to the sentiment of it. The things that I say in Apagalo are very true to the frustrations I was feeling with myself and my own development, not just as a person but also musically.
mm,
Was like Me telling myself, because I've been doing music since forever, since I could remember things. I was deeply entrenched in some kind of music making or helping somebody interpret something. I was raised as a drummer, right?
Mm,
I was taught to do that, and ever since my entire life has been music. At least once a week, I do something music related. And when I was very little, that was just I played drums for church. Cool, and that was really fun while it was fun. And then I started needing to eat,
mm.
and church was like, we don't want to help you do that. We just want you to play. We just want you to play drums for the Lord or whatever. I was like, yeah, but I like food, so so I'm gonna go figure that out.
Yeah.
And had terrible luck with all that stuff. But yeah, like I've been doing music since forever. And when I was 12, I started composing. Like I always thought of things to make, but didn't have the means. I was
Mm,
always looking. And then my neighbor in my old neighborhood, there's this guy who opened his garage and had this little speaker set up and started doing like mashups of different reggaeton songs. And I would walk my ass over there and be like, dude, how do you do that? He's like, oh, it's like this. I make some of them here, and I just kind of play them back on the DJ stuff and like start matching them together. But like some of these are like special. Like I made them sound that way first
mm,
before I play them, and I do that here. And he showed me FL Studio 7,
mm.
and I'm like, and I told him, I want to make stuff too. I want to make music too. And he's like, I'll pass you a crack. And he's like, sweet. Do you have a thing do you have something holding it like a flash drive? And I'm like, fuck, I have one at home. Do you mind if I run back? And my ass ran like the wind at 12 years old, just booking it like across my neighborhood because I remembered that I had a tiny little 2 GB flash card.
Mm.
So I went back there, came back very like actually exhausted. And he's like, bro, bro, like I was gonna be here for like an hour. You're good. And I just wordlessly hand him the flash drive. He gives it to me, and I sprint every bit as fast all the way back to my house. And he's like, dude, slow down. And like I made it, and I made the worst thing I've ever made that day. And then I made 5 other things that are every bit as bad, because that's how it's gotta be, man.
Mm.
And when you're really, really motivated to make shit, and make sure that you're just thinking of, and like or just stuff that once you click a sample of something that's in the workstation, your head is already like, oh, I gotta put that there. I know what would be cool with that. Let me keep exploring. And like as long as you have that drive of like, oh, what does this button do? And you press it and you find out what it does, and then you repeat that for years of your life, you will
Mm.
eventually get good at anything. And that
Obligado.
and I started like composing that stuff when I was 12. And when I was 12, my music sucked. And that is okay. You're going to suck for a while, and that is fine. You need to. You can't just be good at something really fast. It's not a thing. And,
Mm.
and the only reason it worked out the way that it did for me is because I very obsessively did it forever, and I did not stop. And eventually I got to that point in late October where I'm just like, it's been so long. I've been alive for so long, and I have dedicated so much of my life to just getting good at this one thing. And I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of being modest about how great I am at a thing because somebody else might feel like I'm being an asshole or I'm being uh, inadequate in a conversation, or just arrogant or ungrateful or whatever, what have you. I was just kind of done holding myself back to protect feelings of people that don't care about me.
Yeah, yeah.
So like late October's opening track Apagalo is me telling all of those dumb stupid insecurities that were put into my head by someone else who isn't me, because I don't think that about these things. uh, Telling all of that to fuck off. I'm just gonna do what I want, and you're that this record is going to be me doing the music I want to make with no compromises whatsoever. You're going to hear my favorite version of each of these songs. And I started doing that forever, ever since late October. That's just what I do now.
Cacho, cacho. Dejando atrás el que dirán, por fin.
Yeah.
Super dope, super dope. Eh, Bueno, te quería preguntar también, este, obviamente como mencionó, pues muchas veces es una experiencia, una emoción, pero también es el sample lo que te activa a let me try this or let me try that.
It's usually a tiny thing that seems insignificant.
Mm,
Sometimes it's a sample. Sometimes it's the sound of a snare, like the very particular sound of a snare. Like, oh, that snare is the weirdest snare I've ever heard in my goddamn life. I'm going to use it, and then the rest of the thing just sort of happens. Like you just trust your gut. A lot of what I do is just trusting my uh an artist put it one way that I never forgot, and I never stopped parroting that phrasing. My creative intuition.
mm,
I started trusting my creative intuition forever, uh, since I started realizing that music isn't born from where I think it is. It's always somewhere new. It's
mm,
it's always somewhere silly. It's always somewhere probably stupid. It's always somewhere you're not going like if you're in the mindset of like, oh, I haven't made music in a while and I need to make music for making music's own sake. I need to sit down and stare at the screen until something happens. Usually that's the wrong angle.
mm,
You just like what really works, and this is gonna sound really reductive and stupid, but like what really works is just fucking living your life. Like go live your life as honestly as you can, and eventually something will spark you.
mm,
So you'll come across something that will just uh make you want to do the thing, and like you'll have most of it in your head in an instant. And that at least that's how it works for me. I just like I said, the first track of late October, I made it last. I made it the night before, like I finished it the night before, and the night before that one, I had just written it and sent it to my friend. The night before it went up, I put together the entire like salsa section.
mm.
That was not salsa until the night before it came out, and I just
Cacho.
needed to get it sounding that way really quickly because I knew that I was gonna finish this thing by the deadline. I just was still trying to figure out track one for the entirety of the time that I had set that deadline. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to open this project, but I know that this is going to be two. I know this is going to be three. I know this is going to be four. I don't even know how many songs this is going to be, but I know that this is going to be, they're going to, what I do have made and done, it's going to be in this order.
Eso
And
es.
then, two nice parts of the whole thing coming together. I made track one, and then track one is a lot of people's favorite. Like I still get a lot of people telling me that they wish that specific track was just a little longer,
Mm,
or maybe a lot longer. And I always tell them that I'll think about it. I'm in the middle of something right now with this album, but I'll think about it.
ok, ok. Eh, bueno, también adjunto a eso, a esa parte del proceso creativo. Este, O sea, por lo que puedo gather, you're an album person or a person who likes to do full-length projects, si se puede dar.
Yeah.
So, el sequencing, would you consider it algo sumamente importante?
Yes, and mostly because of what I ended up writing.
Mm,
What I ended up writing for the entirety of late October is itself a timeline of feelings that naturally one leads into the other.
mm,
It opens with that realization that apagalo is that realization that wait, I'm the shit and I'm tired of pretending I'm not the shit. Track two is I'm gonna I'm gonna go experiment with things. I'm gonna in the context of the song, it's just like smoking weed
mm,
and substance abuse, my favorite subject. I always come back to it. It's fucking great. Uh, the substance abuse happens, and I'm just like trying shit out because if I'm not trying shit out, I'm not having any fun. Uh, Track three is just opening yourself to just like just open yourself to weird sexual experiences. You're probably not gonna get a whole lot of if you're not like like you're gonna try out a bunch of new shit is what I'm saying,
Mhm.
right? That's what track three is about. Cocteles is just like, hey, you wanna, hey, just you, me, and six others. That's what Cocteles is about. The and Julieta is the aftermath of Cocteles is, damn, I really like this one girl though from that whole thing.
Mhm.
We should do that again. We don't got to do the whole group thing all the time. It's not a requirement. And track five is I also have like really talented friends. You should listen to them, and I just kind of showcase them all. Like and yeah, I think that track is really special. That last track, which is like very little of me in it,
Mhm.
but I think is still really special because I managed to put together a collab of people that would not be collabing with themselves in a million years
Mhm.
if it weren't for me being the mediator. Like there's a there's there's me and Savade. Me and Savade are friends, so we do the first two verses because he wrote his verse first, and then I wrote my verse after because when I first made that beat, I had sent it to him before I wrote anything,
Mhm.
and he came back with something that I really liked, and I wanted to try something out where I write something that leads into his as though we were trying to do that the whole time, where we wrote it together, and it just feels that way. It isn't that way, but it feels that way, and like I'm a big fan of like tailoring the listening experience to cool little things like that make things, in my opinion, feel magical about music
Mhm. Mhm.
that like this thing sounds like they wrote it that way to transition into itself, but no, really I'm the one that wrote it to weave that way. He just wrote something that was fucking rad by itself in a vacuum in the way that he heard the instrumental on his end, and I just kind of fashioned a cool thing around it. And then the next couple of people that were doing collabs, uh God's the Dawn, Back Prince, Sam West, Hari up front, these four people, like two of them know each other and the other two don't know anyone in this entire thing outside of just me. And like I think stuff like that is special if I can make it happen and make it work in a way that feels cohesive. Uh these people to me, they rap like they go together in this thing like they know each other, like they
Mhm.
know what the other is doing. They don't. They never did. They never heard each other's verses. I just aligned them in a way I felt was the most uh the just the coolest way, just in my personal judgment, because it was for my album.
Mhm.
So I get to have the say on who goes where, and I just did it in the way I thought was most cool, and I edited the beat to accentuate each verse's particular things about it. The Hari up front has a whole thing about it where I heard a flow that I heard from a Twista song, like a Twista Kanye collab.
Mhm.
So for his part where he's doing that, I went and fetched the vocal sample from that Twista and Kanye song to chop it and put it in there in the same spot where it would have been in that song,
Mhm.
just because the flow that he was doing was kind of exactly like that, and almost the same scheme. The it's like Overnight Celebrity.
Mhm.
So I put in the sample of that lady going, hey, in the same spot where it would have been in the other song. And that just made me really fucking happy, and it made me want to re-listen to the song again and again and again and again and again obsessively. And that's where I knew, okay, the song is done. I'm re-listening to this thing like a fucking maniac. The song is done.
Y no iba a ser así originalmente. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. It just always becomes what it eventually becomes. It's like I do I do what I think the track needs
Mm,
from me, until I get there, and I just love it.
super dope, super dope. Eh, Mano, te quería preguntar si también hay algún tipo de timeline for the new project. ¿Sería algo también tipo October based? Or you just letting things flow as they go?
I I don't want to say because I never follow through on these things.
Mm,
Late October is like it's I've told a friend before that late October is the fluke that keeps on fluking because there's a lot of things that worked out for late October that do not work out for me. Like
mm,
putting together a project, I have put together several albums and I have put out none of them,
mm,
and I'll and most, if not all of them, are like lost to time. You know, like I don't have those files anymore.
mm,
They're like as far as like albums are concerned, I straight up didn't upload them anywhere.
mm,
Though I have a long graveyard of computers that are dead with my stuff in them, and that will never see the light of day because it's in a landfill somewhere. And yeah, late October, genuinely shocked that that even like happened the way that it did. I guess I was just like fucked up about remaining stagnant in terms of like I hate the series of words solo career.
mm,
But yeah, I just felt like I do a lot of music, and since COVID, I've been engaged in these like online communities where I go and make beats for a guy, or I take a guy's vocals and I mix them and give it back to him, and oh, the song sounds really good now. You should put it out this way instead of that other way where you don't mix it. That yeah,
mm,
that, this way is better. And I did that for years, and then I got frustrated with myself because I wasn't doing that for myself. Why wouldn't I do that for myself? I'm pretty good at this shit too, right? So like late October is me kicking my own ass a little bit about hey, like you're good. You should show people
mm. Put it out
that
there.
you're good at this. Yeah. So this next record that I'm doing, I don't have a timeline for release, but what I'm trying to do with this one that's very different from late October is I'm going to spend the first couple of tracks trying to convince you that I'm a terrible person and you should not be listening to this music because you'd be supporting a terrible person.
Mm,
But that's the thing about pop music. If you actually like sit down and read or just really listen to what a lot of these people are saying, it's like, oh, you're describing a situation where you were kind of the villain, and that's like fine. You're comfortable writing about that, and like yeah, like I like this is a song about the time that I fucked up with this girl, and I was an asshole, and I regret it, and I wish I didn't do it.
mm,
This is a lot of cool fucking pop music like that, and I found that fascinating. So I started thinking to myself, I'm a goddamn goody two shoes. This is this is impossible for me. Then January happened. I'm actually a very flawed human being, it turns out, and I've I found something I think I'm willing to write an entire project about
mm,
again, and like I'm just gonna let that happen the way it has to happen. I don't have a timeline for release. You're probably not going to be waiting all the way till October, but I also don't want to say that,
mm,
you know. So I'm just gonna say, uh, I'm working on it right now, like every day more than I've been since January, and yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is gonna be pretty cool, and I really want to not keep people waiting until October for this thing because I have a lot of things I want to do this year. This album is just one of them. Maybe a whole other thing down the line. And that's not even talking about my collab with my bestie Mafuba. He and I have a thing. As of yet, we haven't like put out any materials about it, so I guess I'm not gonna say a whole lot. But stay tuned because I'm also going to be really fucking annoying about that project too. Once it's done, just like just be on my Instagram. You'll know everything as it happens. But right now, I'm just crunching for this album, and I really want to have it out really fucking soon.
Super dope, super dope. It's crunch time. It's crunch time.
Yeah.
Eh, Mano, ya que mencionaste tus socials, para ir cerrando la interview ya mismito, ¿cómo la gente puede buscarte once again? Sea Instagram, sea Spotify, todas esas cosas.
Okay. Uh, on on Spotify, if you look up Marmalade and you just like don't even bother with the doctor part,
Mm.
it'll still show up. I'll still show up. Just look for me. I have weird crochet hats on. I fucking love these hats, man. Uh, my friend Diana makes them for me. Uh, she's fucking dope. I made an order of like a shit ton of them. I want a whole rainbow of these crochet hats. And right
Mm.
now, I'm rocking a pink one with a pink hoodie that says "Certified Good Boy" on it. It's it's like I'm really I'm really trying this year to hone into wearing stuff I really like to wear and just kind of like that. That's not a thing I do. That's not a thing I do. It's super weird and new to me to go to wear these consistent colors and then go to a little photo studio and have pictures taken of me. This is all incredibly new to me. Like I usually don't do like the vanity stuff, but like
Mm.
I kind of have to. I'm realizing that with like if I want to get people to care, I kind of have to treat it that way. So like on Instagram, if you look up Marmalade, that's Marmal8, you'll find me. Just look for the weird hat. Right now it's the pink one with the pink hoodie. On Spotify, it should still be the green jacket with the purple crochet hat with the little button on top.
Perfect. Y, y en Spotify todo eso, Doctor Marmalade, right?
Yeah, it's all the same on all the streaming platforms. Dr. Marmalade.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Pues, mano, antes de cerrar completamente, what are some artists that are in your playlist right now so that people can go find them?
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So there's like, it's like it's strange. I don't be like sitting down and just being like, okay, today I'm gonna listen to some music. Today I'm gonna look for some music to listen to. But there actually are a few this time. Like this year, I've actually caught a few things. Currently, my favorite albums to keep coming back to are from an artist called Black Diamonds, the Diamonds Deluxe Edition album. That's Diamonds with a V for an A.
Okay.
You look up Diamonds with a V for A Deluxe Edition, you're gonna
Mm.
see this really striking blue and purple art, really fucking awesome illustration. I've been listening to that on repeat for a while. I've also been listening to an album by Kill Bill the rapper and Rav called "Keep the Change."
Mm.
Really fun, inventive, experimental, like the most punk that hip hop has been for me for a while. And like when I'm not uh trying to sit down and listen to a project front to back, because I've just been listing projects out to you. The album from the band Nowhere Forever, I'm still
Mm.
playing that front to back. The album from John Bellion, The Human Condition, I'm still playing that front to back. Uh, every time that I turn on my funny little Xbox and I play a game where I can just have other music in the Spotify app in the background, I usually start like clicking on like Babushka Boy by ASAP Rocky and letting
Mm.
Spotify just kind of handle the playlist from there. And you know, stuff like that. Sometimes my own stuff crops up. And I'll be honest, dude, I don't skip it. I really love what I do.
That's good. That's good though. Pues, mano, with all that being said, primero que todo, thank you for saying
Of
yes.
course. Of course.
Eh, Perdona pues que tuvimos que reschedule every now and then. Este, Segundo, mucha salud, mucha agua, stay healthy, stay hydrated, you know.
Of course. Of course.
Y tercero, mano. Para adelante. Estaré pendiente a lo que venga por ahí, sea EP, sea album, whatever it is. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be paying attention. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I should. Oh my God, I should say I completely forgot about this, and it's like soon.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm dropping a single that's like has nothing to do with anything. I'm dropping it on March 16th.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
That's one to look out for. That's like really soon, and it's like already done. I already finished it. I'm not like working till the like the last day, like late October. Like this, it's done. It's like it's put up on the services and shit. It's like you guys are gonna get it on the 16th, 100%.
Bello, 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 bello. Pues estaré pendiente para eso y para todo lo que venga por ahí, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.